Welcome back to Recorder on the Wall. We're finally making it to second half of the graphic novel. I'm Pete.
I'm underwhelmed. I'm Jeremy.
Ah!
And I'm medicated. And Katie. I'm Katie too.
Before we get into that, I want to talk briefly about I actually started a Red Wolf tabletop in my local group.
Oh, nice.
They heard me mention, oh yeah, I've been listening to this actual play podcast a few times, and one of the other players who also read the series is like, hey, you know how this series is. I know your podcast. You should make a game for us. Okay, so I did.
That's awesome.
And it's been entertaining because my characters had picked, my players had picked one went conventional, one a conventional creature to play with, one went an unusual but certainly series canon, and then the third did a pangolin.
So now you're Father DM?
I don't follow that joke.
Father Rabbit? Father...
Oh, I get it now. Okay. But, no, yeah, we have a squirrel who's a rogue. We have a wolverine who's the tank. And we have a pangolin who is absolutely crazy.
Oh, what?
So, it's literally an armored mammal. Think armadillo, only it walks on two legs.
Oh.
Here, I'll
Bird
Google
armadillo?
it for you.
That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, he's kind of nuts.
Let's see. Oh. Pangolin. Alright. Okay.
Yeah, they're a little weird, but they're kind of awesome. So, and yeah, they're not exactly British animals. But I'm also running a world where it's kind of in between, like what If You Give a Mouse a Dagger shows, where a species really doesn't matter to alignment. So I definitely have quote unquote vermin species as regular roles, but it's not nearly as egalitarian as that the other podcast tends to paint their story. Not yet. But yes, I'm a nerd. We all are, though.
Indeed, it's fine.
We all nerd down here.
Okay, it.
Or up here, I guess, because we're on the wall.
The Tim Curry coming up, yeah, that makes sense. So.
We all ham up here.
Oh, yes. So, when we left off in the graphic novel, we stopped about halfway through on page 74, when Matthias finally met King Bullspera. It went well.
He was immediately captured.
Yes. And Bullspera looks terrifying.
So in the graphic novel, he is captured. Wow, words are not wording today. He meets Bullspera and then he gets captured?
Well, it's the same ambush where Warbeak kind of lowers the rafter ladder for him and he climbs up and it's like, hi, folks.
Nice.
And then we get abrupt change to Clooney talking about the tunneling operation. Because transitions are not this comic's strong point.
No, but I would want to point out for the first time as a graphic kind of thing, we actually can see something other than rats on the vermin side. I guess those are yeah, that's a ferret there on page 75.
I think that's Kilconey. Wasn't Kilconey the tunnel dude?
Yeah, he's not named very well, but in this, but
yeah, there's a lot of unnamed characters.
Yeah, and going back to scale things, we all know ferrets are much bigger than rats. Not terribly much, but they are. And then there's Sayla and Check and Hound, who are somehow smaller than most of the conventional rats.
That is odd.
Yes.
I'm fine with them being smaller than Clooney, but yeah, like I feel like it's appropriate for Clooney to be just bigger than everyone.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and while I'm still not a huge fan of the art style, I do like the bottom left panel on page 75 where it's looking down at them, so it looks like Clooney's just towering over both the foxes.
And as we know from the original book, and when we covered the cartoon, yeah, Clooney's about to kill his white mages. That's not smart, but... Oh, yeah, he's going to kill his healers, and there is their sad face in the middle panel of 76.
Yeah. Somebody get a Phoenix down! Somebody get a Phoenix down!
Yeah, it's Katie. Since I know you can't say, it's basically Clooney's like, yeah, go ahead and kill him, and we get their reactions, and it's not happy. So
I don't know if I'd be particularly happy either. I mean,
Yep. And then suddenly back to Matthias.
yeah, the transitions here are pretty abrupt, but I mean, to be fair, we had the benefit of chapters in the books.
Yeah, but I mean, at bare minimum, they could at least put like a little "meanwhile" in the upper left corner.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the
whole
rafters.
Yeah. Yeah, and we get a better look at Bull Sparrow. He's a lot smaller than you think he would be based on his first appearance. I mean, he's bigger than Matthias, yes. But it's the same thing. It's like, oh, yeah, I totally came back to bring back one of your warriors. So, yeah, you're not going to kill me, right? No, totally going to kill you. And Warbeak and Dunwing stand up for him. It's like, okay, fine, whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, you're their slave, so have fun with that, Matthias.
Yeah. And we actually do get little comments like later, and then Matthias is like, I'm going to tell you about Martin the Warrior. And then right after it says, and once the tale had been told.
Oh, if it wasn't copyrighted, I would enter the what do you call it? The Super Friends transition sound. Yeah.
And now you know the rest of the story.
But yeah, then Dunwing actually gets to tell her full story, which is nice. It's a lot of text, but so it was.
Yeah.
The books, but she basically points out how Greytail, Warbeak's father, and her husband, totally got bitten by the Asmodeus the Adder. Oh yeah, him. Huh. We've seen him all of once before this happened.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and we get to see him a total of 3 times. We're going to see him shortly when someone who we all know escapes from Redwall, and the 3rd time when Matthias may or may not kill him. Yeah, we know it's coming.
Yeah. We've covered this twice already. We know what's going to happen.
We can't spoil it at this point.
Yeah.
And then after we get that...
elsewhere.
Yeah, literally, elsewhere. We see there's Sayla and Chickenhound looking kind of bloodless, but dead in the ditch.
We get Sela's dead face and their dead eye open looking dead.
And
She's
Chickenhound has all the respect for his mother and takes the time to bury her. No, he doesn't.
By bury, we mean leaving her in an open ditch.
I mean, to be fair, he has taken a beating here. The panels we see him, Clooney's troops roughed him the hell up.
Yeah.
That I don't remember that in the book.
I remember in the book they just stabbed them a couple times, and
they stabbed him twice, and I think one time it was like through the loose scruff of skin on his neck. So, and then once in the leg, maybe. It's been a while since I.
Yeah.
And this one, he's got a full-on swollen eye.
Oh, nice.
It was at this point where I was like, oh, they're actually doing this nice paced moment with Dunwing. It's like, oh, now we're to Chickenhound, and suddenly he's in the Abbey.
Yeah, wow.
One
with no guards, I want to point out.
It just says, and soon. And he's lying there, looking decrepit.
And we actually see a good spread of species here. I'm pretty sure that's Jess and Sam. And there's Flopbeard Basil, who looks really freaking weird. So, yes, and I guess, is an otter on the right-hand panel? I don't know. It's kind of cut off.
It's very dark.
Yeah.
It's like just lots of shades of black and gray. And yeah.
Shades of black and gray?
Thankfully, no.
That's probably good.
And I mean, I do give credit to Mortimer here. He's just like, look, you came to us, broken wounded, we will heal you. And we're not going to turn you away, so, relax. But no one posts any guards. I mean, yes, he was working for Clooney. Yes, you've taken him in under your wing, but you know, I want to say they're smarter than this in the book.
No, they don't leave a guard. Well,
No, they don't.
because in the book, when he breaks free, or he starts having his free range, they are busy with the fighting outside. Or wait, are they
Right.
fighting
I mean, that's
outside?
fair.
Yeah.
No, I think something's definitely going on outside when they're.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean,
Methuselah
it's
at
not
this
as bad
point.
as the cartoon, which outright changed it to Constance leaving him and his mother
Yeah.
alone in the Great Hall.
It's like, don't worry, I'll just leave all these valuables out, along with this conveniently placed sack. I'm sure everything will be just fine. Meanwhile, I will lead this bull to my china shop.
And we get back to Clooney, who finally we get back to the. We don't see it.
Meanwhile, back at the plot.
Yeah, Basil and Jess. We only see that. Hey, can we speak? Can I speak to you a moment? We don't see them plotting this, but it goes right into them stealing the tapestry back. And I admit this part is still damn. It's been a long day.
Damn is fine, actually. It was I think we've had that. It's been in the book, and they do say like hell's teeth and stuff like that.
Okay.
There's definitely been a few dams in the book.
Yeah,
All right,
and
all right.
and Basil does refer to Bull Sparrow as a silly ass in the book.
He does.
All right. I'll keep
Yeah,
it.
I think that's fine.
Yeah, we get the whole Basil and Jess retrieving the tapestry, and it's still a lot of fun.
Yes.
It really is. It's a nice bit of levity.
We do get a little blood, unlike in the book where Basil like twists his ankle. In this one, Clooney actually, it looks like he stabs him, or at least cuts him with the spear with the tapestry.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
Yep. And then Jess decides to break the fourth wall literally by leaping out of a panel in the middle of a panel and then leaping at Clooney.
I just saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Jess Pool grabs the tapestry and runs away.
And Basil gives her the chance to run away without him, but she hammer. Does anyone else see this? She hammer volts Clooney, like grabs him by his tail and pulls a Super Mario 64 and tosses him.
So long, Clooney.
I think she does that in the book too, if I'm not mistaken.
I think there is a point where, yeah, she does grab it and then toss him into everyone.
Jess is the best squirrel, I think.
Yep.
Basil's the best hare. Jess is the best squirrel.
I mean, they are the prototypes for their for the species in the whole series. So yeah, which says a lot about Constance too.
Yep.
And a lot of disturbing things about Ambrose Spike, because if we go back to the book, he had a problem.
Yeah, although there are no songs in this book. I have just been noticing, because there's songs in like literally every other book except for this one.
Oh yeah, I never thought about that.
There's poems, there's riddles, but there's no songs.
Yeah, I guess Mossflower was the first one to start doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, he had Gonf. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Also,
he's young Gonf.
Now soon, back at Redwall, they don't call attention to it. There actually is something I just noticed. In the book, they mention that Basil like exaggerates his wound and everything. His entire leg is bandaged up.
Oh
yeah. Yep.
It's like bandaged up all the way. It's actually kind of funny. I didn't notice that before.
I think.
And I will admit, this shot here of the feast table is kind of nice because we do actually see scale among the various creatures. Almost every primary quote unquote good species is represented, and two, it is an actually happy scene. We do see what I presume is Ambrose Spike. That Constance is saluting Basil and Jess, and I presume her husband are there with there, and there's a flock of Dibbons in one corner.
Oh,
yeah.
Mr. Squirrel. Hello, Mr. Squirrel.
Yeah.
I look forward to not seeing you later.
Oh, it's Professor Farnsworth.
Good news, everyone. I fixed the tapestry.
Oh, yeah. Chicken Hound. Stealing things. Oh, yeah. Forgot about him.
Didn't see that coming.
No.
Stop, thief. Stop the fox. And
He's
check
not
down
stealing
from-
things. He's just taking them to the kitchens to wash them, obviously.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and he's just helping Methuselah by smashing the bag across his face.
Here,
And
I will help you lose your life.
I want to point something out here. Again, it's been so long since I finished the book, so I don't have it to compare to here. But it depends on how you read this. But there's almost, when we read this, Chicken Hound smashes Methuselah across the face with the bag, which is, part of the book, and that's how he dies.
Mhm.
But Methuselah outright says, "Hey, why are you repaying our kindness? You're worse than your wicked mother." And that's when Chicken Hound strikes him. And I'm sitting here wondering, because there's a deliberate pause on Chicken's Pot, and I'm pretty sure the original book had this. And I'm wondering, okay, did he mean... Obviously, he didn't mean to kill him outright. But is he reacting to being called worse than his mother? Or, hey, don't talk about my mom? Or, I'm not sure here.
Well,
I
the
don't
book
think
does.
he-
Yeah,
Oh,
the book does say he really doesn't care about his mother that much.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just think he was panicking about getting caught, and he was just like, "Oh,
I don't know, just the way it's drawn in the bottom panel of 89, kind of that look of shock on his face, almost makes me think he, don't call me worse than my mom. Oh, I am worse than my mom. I just killed him.
whoops."
Yeah. Unfortunately, just feels very rushed, and we don't even get lip service to Constance on her "I'm going to destroy you" tear through the woods.
No.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I wish that was here, because it would have been nice to see, especially since we literally got the Looney Tunes scene in the first half where she squeezes Sayla's neck.
Yeah, I wanted to see Constance smash. I feel deprived.
We do run right into Asmodeus, and yeah,
That looks creepy. I do like how, for Asmodeus, they use a different font for all his dialogue.
they do, and they change the dialogue bubbles to make it definitely different.
Yep. So I think that's good. Then, meanwhile, in the rafters,
Oh yeah, Matthias.
yep, it's Matthias and Dunwing recovering the scabbard, and Matthias is like, "Oh, it's so beautiful," and Dunwing's like, "Yo, back to reality, dude." And Matthias then, I never really thought about this, but I guess the comic is illustrating it more. In order to get down from the area he's in, he climbs up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never really thought about that.
Well, crap. I'm trapped up high. Hey, Jess? Help!
And yep. Then we get Bull, Spera, and Matthias fighting. They
Pretty
fall.
brutally, actually.
Yeah. He does bite Matthias's shoulder, and then Matthias
Yep.
bashes him in the head with a scabbard.
Yep, that's all from the book.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can only it's in your mind's eye in the book, but here it's like, holy crap, Bull Sparrows takes a huge chunk out of his shoulder there.
Yep. And and he's dead. Well, that's the end of that.
And he doesn't hit the pond this time.
Yeah, they don't even mention how he survives. He's just fine. And then,
But we do see the dream with the rose, which is a nice touch.
I do like how the thorns are little swords.
Yeah.
And Methuselah goes, "I must go now. My planet needs me."
I must go now. Good news, everyone.
I'm dead. Oh.
And there's Martin in Matthias' dreams, like, hey, does this feel like a bird beak in your shoulder? And he wakes up shirtless.
Well, they did need to remove the bird beak from his shoulder.
Yeah, in a bed, and there's Mortimer, like, kind of like almost an angry look, like, yeah, you had a sparrow beak in your shoulder.
Beak. How dare you get that sparrow beak lodged in your shoulder? And hey, look, Cornflower's back, and
Oh yeah, her.
as the exact opposite of the cartoon, Cornflower is in this story less than she is in the book.
That
I
makes
think
me
this
sad.
is like her second appearance in the entire story.
Oh man.
Yeah,
And the third one is pretty much going to be, hey, you
You're
guys should get
married.
married.
Yeah. And then Matthias hears the tapestry's back, and he's like, I'll bet old Methuselah's over the moon to have it back. Well, oh, where is he? I'm sure he's smiling and happy, and why are you all crying?
Oh, this is this cliche in the movies where someone died and I didn't see it and you're just can't you're figuring out how you're gonna tell me, aren't you? Yeah, pretty much.
I do like this next section where they do cut to Matthias leaving, but it's essentially narrated with his conversation with Basil of who Asmodeus is and about Captain Snow and the metal. I think this was actually a good way for them to like move the plot along in a quicker manner.
I'm going to disagree because that's actually one of my favorite parts of the book, where it's one of the few times that outright Basil is mentioned to be serious. When he hears Matthias is like, he wants to go after the freaking snake, he's like, what?
So would you have rather them just like quick cut to Matthias in the woods running into the sewers?
No, but I mean,
that's essentially what they've done for the rest of this thing is just, hey, we're here now.
I know, but it's one of my favorite scenes because it just a thing of Basil going from jolly and funny to dead serious kind of sets the tone of, oh, you're going after the snake? You are totally dead. Don't.
Yep.
So, but I mean, I get why they did, as you put it, to move the plot along.
Yep.
So, and the shrews are the thing. Yeah.
Yep. Did they actually shout things like break his paws and skin him alive in the book?
They did.
Okay, I guess I just forgot that.
And yeah, we get the weird thing of, hey, there's Gosum. She's a member of Gosum. Okay.
Yeah, that is super weird. It's like, I am naming you. Now I can't think of a name of something, but like, I'm naming you United States Marines, or something like that. Like,
they actually do that. They actually do a joke like that in the series Ruby, because the team in it is named Ruby, but the leader of the team, her name is Ruby. And so in season 3, she actually makes a joke of it and says, I'm the leader of Team Ruby. And yes, that does get confusing.
nice.
I do want to point out, yeah, I know this happened in the book too, but very early in the original book, Mortimer outright tells Matthias, yeah, Redwold monks can go where, and sisters can pretty much go anywhere in their habits because, you know, we're recognized as healers. That really not stuff for it. But that really doesn't play out in this series, and certainly not here. Because Matthias is immediately surrounded on all angles by angry shrews.
Yep. And then we get the thing with the black stone, which I'm assuming this is the same stone that was recovered in Salamandastron.
Oh, yeah. I never made that connection.
Yeah, and it disappears, I think, either after Matameo or Pearls of Lutra. It totally disappears and we never see it again.
I think it disappears after this book because, at least in the book, there was a moment where Matthias just, like, throws it into the woods and it's never mentioned again.
I thought it was in Matameo, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
But yeah.
All that work for nothing.
Yeah, someone has to go retrieve it from the woods when Matthias is gone. Like, okay, we got to vote on who's going to grab the stone from where that mouse threw it.
The ghosts of Mara and Tubgut are like, oh, come on!
And yeah, we finally get, it says the following dawn, so presumably Matthias stays overnight with the shrews.
Yeah. And then, oh dear God, he falls into giant, terrifying cat mouth.
Yeah. I know I mentioned how anthropomorphic are they, and this is where the bumper goes. Yeah, like I said in the last episode, the graphic novel tends almost completely towards the feral, whereas you see more characters walking on all fours. You see not only Constance but Gingerbeard here, and certainly Captain Snow, who are like proportionally the size they would be next to a mouse. And certainly true here because in goes Matthias and Nom.
And the Abbey.
And there's Clooney rallying his troops within arrow range of the Red Wall. Yeah, it wasn't bright, was it?
Yep. And then
Oops.
Clooney mentions Cheese Thief, who, after this battering ram section, is never mentioned ever again.
Nor
Wait,
is he
what?
shot by the beaver.
Yeah, they cut out the section of Constance shooting him with the giant longbow.
Aw, poor Cheese Thief. I'm sure he. Wait, was Scrag in this? I can't remember.
I
don't-
can't
I don't
remember if they
think so.
mentioned him or not.
Okay, I was gonna say at least maybe
of
Cheese
the-
Thief would feel better that he was at least in there and Scrag wasn't because he had that rivalry with Scrag.
Most of the Vermin officers are pretty much unnamed. And they might be invoked once, maybe twice.
Yeah, like even when he talks to who we know in the book was Kilconey, he just says, "Ferret, get your tunnel gangs." Go
Hey, you can't talk to me that way.
Meanwhile, in book 3,
Well, hang on. I
giant
want to
cat.
before you get there. Yeah. So Clooney actually does said he gives him an opportunity to surrender, and Constance takes it well.
Constance gives her usual response.
Hey, why is she giving me? That's a gesture I don't like.
Constance introduces him to her favorite band, the Rolling Stones, as they drop rocks.
And we're even told, yeah, and we get a nice close up of Clooney in his battle armor. So now book 3, Gingerbeard outright spits him out. It's like, hey, what the heck, man?
Get out of there.
What have you been bathing in?
Yep. I still laugh how Gingerbeard is like, you should apologize for leaping into my mouth. It's like, dude, he slipped and fell.
Well, maybe it appeared to him that he was leaping.
Oh.
I don't know.
Geronimo!
Woohoo!
Well, I mean, Gingerbeard obviously doesn't really forgives it really quick, and it's like, oh yeah, Captain Snow. Yeah, I don't like him in my barn. Sorry.
And he's like, sure, I'll introduce you to him. By the way, tell him to take responsibility for being a jerk, and I'll totally not be a jerk to him. Bye. Oh, by the way, he's right above you and about to eat you. See ya.
Bye, you're gonna die.
And Captain Snow is pretty gigantic and pretty terrifying looking.
Yeah, especially those giant claws.
Yep.
And his first response is not, what are you in my territory? Why do you have that medallion? It's like, what did the cat say to you? Oh, lies! Lies! Lies, I say!
I will not pick up after myself. Just want to hear like the Odd Couple theme for these two living together.
It pretty much is. Oh yeah, you want to find the snake and the sword? Okay, yeah, I know where it is, but you're totally not going to get it back. Wait, what? What? Huh? You what? You totally? And Matthias is like, I totally can, and I'll make you a bet. This can't possibly go terribly for him later.
Meanwhile, back at the Abbey,
Constance is throwing huge spears.
And yeah, middle of page 110, we do. This took me a little bit to figure out what the heck this was, but it's them dropping the wasp's nest. But they don't even like say what they're doing, so it's just, hey, look, there's just something being dropped with bees everywhere.
And they poured, I guess, kitchen oil on the battering ram to make them unable to pick it up.
They did.
Oh, Clooney does mention Kilconey.
Yep. Yeah, it's totally a diversion, and I totally don't regret the lives I've lost doing this. And ow, why is bee stings hurt?
Yep. And then on the next page, we get the porridge moment with this terrified creature looking up at them. No!
Oh, and I do want to show it is the ferrets actually digging with rats behind them.
Yep, and yep, that's not good. Oh, they're all being washed away in the porridge. Well, at least
In the boiling water.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it porridge or water?
It's water. It's definitely water.
Which was the one where they used the porridge again?
I think that was just in the animated
Yeah,
series.
I'm pretty sure it's the cartoon. Because
Okay.
it's somehow less, grisly than boiling water.
This is true.
I think there's one point where they use hot oatmeal, but I don't think we've come to that, so that could be a spoiler.
Eh.
I
And
do
then
remember Cornflower throwing soup in one rat's face when they had
Yes.
the tower, so there was that.
And we get the survivors out of that tunnel like, where are we going? Are we going to tell Clooney about this? No,
we don't need
Would
to
you
disturb
want
him.
to? Nah, good.
Yeah.
I'm sure Clooney will totally take it well.
He takes everything well.
So we have Matthias explaining to Logolog here, because he was named at one point. We skip that. He's like, Captain Snow will totally not eat you guys if I can defeat Asmodeus, so you want to help? Got nothing better to do.
Yeah. We're like, all right, we're with you. And later, dude, Mingo is still dead, so that sucks. And they're like, look, you can see these giant slithering marks, which they do have that, and they find the quarry. And Gossam finds the entrance in her usual super helpful way by falling into it.
Are you okay, Gossam? Oh, ah. I think she's still falling.
Yep. Soon.
Yeah, what's up with the cave drawings there?
Yeah, I do like when they're in the cave and you constantly have like this wavy Asmodeus.
Oh, he found the Chamber of Secrets. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong book.
They're in the Cave of Wonders.
Now, I'd actually be curious if J.K. Rowling took any inspiration from this for Harry Potter Book 2, because it doesn't it pretty much looks like the movie, how that book in the Harry Potter movie portrays it.
Yeah, maybe.
I haven't seen it or read it.
So, and the short version in the climax of that book, Harry and Ron, because Hermione gets her own solo adventure with Harry in the third book, are trapped in the Chamber of Secrets, which is big cave with a bunch of carvings and a huge basilisk snake. So,
okay.
Yeah, I don't know that there was direct inspiration here, but could have been.
Yep.
Oh, hi, Gossam. How are? Oh.
And then the span of like a quick 4-panel page, Matthias sneaks beside Asmodeus and grabs the sword, and he's like, "I have it now."
And why is that theme music coming from? Like, sounds like it's the Master Sword. Yeah, it's glowing. When he actually grabs the sword, it glows. What?
I was kind of disappointed with this part. Like, it didn't have any of the tension or drama or just wonder when he grabs the sword from the book.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then Logolog's like, hey, Matthias, Gossam's totally dead, and I don't know why I'm shouting. And is that the snake?
Yep.
He woke the snake up from his nappy times. What did you say?
Hey, I know when I get woken up abruptly, I'm not happy either.
I need my beauty sleep.
Really, I'm not hungry anymore. I just ate. That was Mingo, right? Sorry about that. Wait, why do I apologize?
And then Asmodeus is like, "Hey, I'm your nightmare. Stare into my eyes as they reflect in your eyes," which is creepy. And Martin's like, "Hey, Matthias, wake up." And Matthias goes, "Okay, /////." And there's bloody Asmodeus with his severed bloody head.
Oh, yeah. Hi, kids.
This is brutal.
I mean, I do love that they repeated the whole strike. He struck for Redwall, strike, that it goes down a list.
Yeah.
And I'm okay. I just can't swing this sword for anytime soon.
Hey, Asmodeus, heads up.
Oh, right, the plot.
Yeah. Meanwhile, outside the Abbey walls, "You Dormouse, what's your name? We're not going to show how we captured you."
Oh, yeah. Is your family? No, it's not. Oh, well, dang. Well, what am I going to do now?
If I set them on fire?
I do love Plumpin's face at the bottom of page 123. Just the oh crap
Oh
look. And yeah, we get the whole hey, I'm totally gonna walk into the Abbey and betray you guys. So.
And red walls, ramparts, and we have the mice on guard.
We get a Constance like, yeah, this is not gonna end anytime soon until Clooney's dead. Maybe I should make a big sniping bow. Nah, it's ridiculous.
If only there was a beaver around here.
Huh.
Then in it goes that night, and we actually get a pretty good panel at the bottom of page 125 where Plumpin opens the door and
oh dear God!
Clooney.
Yeah, that's something straight out of like what do you call it?
Nightmare.
Well, I was gonna say what's that Jack Nicholson movie?
The Shining?
Yes. Here's Clooney.
That's and
yeah, Red Wall's mine.
Yep.
Surprise!
This is mine now. And yeah, Clooney takes over, taunts the tapestry of Martin because Clooney kind of crazy.
Oh, so are you monologuing again? Shut up.
And then we cut to Matthias wielding the shield that he didn't take with him.
Yeah. What?
Is Martin's shield like Thor's hammer? He just like Matthias holds up his arm and it attaches to it or something.
Oh, and there's Captain Snow and Gingerbeer apparently reconciled, and I hope you like seeing them because I don't know if we see them again before the end.
I don't think we do.
Oh, and the shrews, can you totally help me? Yeah, sure. Oh, hi, Warp.
We have a massive winter storm. I mean, they just forgot to draw the background of the top of page 129, where it's just Matthias and Warbeak on a white background.
Oh, hi, Warbeak. Where did you... Oh, Clooney took over. That's bad. I probably should get back.
Yep. It's like, man, I hope I get back before somebody's beaten with Clooney's poison tail. Oh.
And then Clooney's in the Abbott chair, and he's on top. He's having fun. He's like, I told you could surrender or die, and you didn't. So I'm gonna kill you. So who's first?
And his rant of listing all the names of the different stuff, like the Lake of the Drowned Mice or whatever. The way the actor did that in the audiobook is pretty terrifying.
And it's not here.
Yep, they cut that whole thing out.
Oh, sad.
Yeah. We do get him starting to beat Mortimer with the poison tail barb, and then we actually get a pretty epic shot of Matthias in shadow holding the sword and shield. And at this point, I don't really care where he found the shield because it looks cool.
Yay.
Yeah, pretty much. And Clooney's taking this well. He's like, oh crap. Who are you?
And the battle begins, and we get all the sparrows. And we get
huge 2-page spread. We just see this huge battle going on, and we get sparrows just killing the crap out of rats pretty brutally.
Cue Duel of the Fates.
Yeah.
That's actually the song I usually listen to when I read this part in the book.
And there's Basil in the background doing ninja kicks and tossing a rat by his tail.
Yep.
There's Jess, who's looks like she's uppercutting one. Or just
sure you can.
There are a bunch of shrews just stabbing him because hey, what you gotta do?
Is Silent Sam in this anywhere? Because in the book he was like in the middle of the battle where he was guiding Ambrose Spike around to like charge at rats. It's like, get the baby out of the fight.
No, I don't see Ambrose. I don't see Ambrose or Sam here.
Yeah.
I do see in the middle of it all, Clooney is striking out at Matthias, who just
Yeah.
Oh, he throws a torch at him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, did he throw a fireball at him or something?
It's a torch.
Yeah.
And I guess it's an otter behind him.
Yep. And then instead of cleaving Kilconey in half, Matthias just stabs him. And then Constance to the rescue. We get the full scene of her grabbing a rat in a net and slamming the rat against the wall.
I will say I will give the cartoon props for that one bit we get with Constance where she who is her rival again?
Well, it was Red Tooth, and then it was a Fangburn after she
Right,
killed
she
Red Tooth.
grabs Fangburn and it's like, you are mine. We don't get that here, but it's still would have been nice. And back to Clooney and Matthias fighting, who just outright slashes his tail off.
Yep.
You're going to want to put some ice on that.
Yep. And then Clooney runs away, and the two fight into the bell tower with someone ringing the doorbell. They don't tell us who it is, but we know it's the Friar.
Hmm.
And someone ringing the doorbell?
The Joseph.
The Joseph bell.
Oh, I thought you said doorbell.
Might have.
Hey, it's got Squire Julian out there.
Bing bong.
I'm sure they'll answer eventually.
Yep. I got your pizza.
And there's Matthias kicking Clooney in the face.
Yep.
Okay, I'm actually going to take a little bit of a controversial opinion here. There is one change. I know it's damsel in distress, but I actually liked in the cartoon when they replaced Friar Hugo with Cornflower. Yeah, I know it's cliche. Yeah,
I don't remember that.
Yeah, in the cartoon, in this last scene with Clooney, they replace Hugo with Cornflower to I don't know, give it more emphasis, whatever. I'll admit that I'm fine with them keeping it true here, but I was kind of I never said that at the time, but I didn't mind that change because Cornflower got a lot of development here. Here, no.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with they still forgot she was in the book.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And we get that famous scene where it's like, hey, you want to come down or I'm going to kill your friend here? Okay.
I'll be down in a second. Just let me chop through this rope. You're going to what? Oh, God. Bong.
And we get this awesome shot of Clooney looking up right at the bell coming down on him, and it's like, yeah.
Yep.
And we get Matthias' famous line, I kept my promise, I came down. And Clooney's like, we presume he's dead. He's like, I'm not dead. Okay, now I am.
I'm okay. I'm not okay. Hey, Clooney, does my answer ring a bell? Oh. Looks like I towered above you. Oh.
Just kill me.
Looks like the Joseph bell wasn't all it's cracked up to be. Oh.
Are you enjoying your one-man play there?
Yes.
Pretty much. Yeah, he is. And Matthias is like, oh, I'm kind of tired. Oh, Father Abbott, you're poisoned. Oh. When did that happen?
At least Mortimer's not like annoying like he was in the cartoon where he's like, we should totally surrender every 5 seconds. And Mortimer, we get his like final speech, and then oh look, Cornflower's back, and you're married.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm not wrong.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, oh yeah, Cornflower, so you should totally marry him. Yep. And she has, I know the book and the cartoon both kind of glossed over her reaction to it, but it's just like even worse here. We don't even see her face to react to it.
Oh, wow.
It's from the back. It's Matthias is like, wait, what? He's looking down at her.
Yep. And then it just ends with Mortimer dying and saying that Redwall is safe with the spirit of Martin above it. Or
no, I'm pretty sure that's Matthias because he's in a robe. Not armor.
Either way, we don't even get like the epilogue from the book where they're like, by the way, happy things happen. Nope. Mortimer's dead. Matthias is the new warrior. The end.
We don't even get Rat Death?
No.
No, they do that.
Oh,
and the series will never remember it again.
Oh, yeah. So, like, right after 3 days. Okay, so we agree we're not calling this Rat Death, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's a stupid name.
I'm not dead yet. Oh, I mean, it's a great name.
I will say Constance holding Mortimer as he's dying is kind of nice. She even cries at points. But yeah, in this final bit here, we're still seeing like the token hedgehog and otter in the background, and I guess that's Ambrose and maybe Winifred. We don't know. They're never named, and the moles are still nowhere to be seen.
Oh, sad.
And that's it.
With roses in the bottom of the abbey when they're like that. So, okay, there's a lot here to talk about that we haven't. But the short version is this a good translation, all things together? For the most part. I mean, comic is definitely a different medium. It requires some visual progression, and I actually do like the black and white style. It's a little bit different than common color comics, which means you have to be a lot more care with contrast in your color work. And the art is fine. I don't mind it at all, and it actually showing the scale, kind of how the original book portrayed it, versus the complete anthropomorphic version in the cartoon. But there are points that I've already mentioned here, both in this episode and the previous, where I kind of wanted them to spend more time with, or not skip entirely, like the sniping scene, or Basil's conversation with Matthias. But it is what it is. I can see why this probably didn't sell as well as they'd hoped. And truth be told, I would have loved to see Mattameo done in this, because Slagar could have been truly terrifying in this art style. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. This didn't really do a whole lot for me outside of the few little small moments I mentioned. I mean, it's an abbreviated version of the book with art that I don't really care for the most part. And if you're curious, check it out. But if you're expecting something that, like a brand new, exciting way to view the book, you're probably not going to get that. I mean, this is kind of like when they do a bad movie adaptation of a book where they just cut out all the stuff that you like and maybe cast an actor that you don't enjoy.
I was going to say, it's not really all that common now, but in this 70s through probably the late 90s, most of the two big comic book companies were often subcontracted by movie studios to make comic book versions of movies. I remember Independence Day was a graphic novel. And yes, it's already a DC property, but Batman Forever was one.
I remember Linkara did reviews of Star Trek movies that were adapted into comics.
Yeah. And
hello, train.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Oh, that's okay. I don't mind.
They've been really loud of late, so. But here, the benefit of doing a movie into a comic book is that well and truly before the era of VHS and later DVD and Blu-ray and digital distribution, that was a way to see the movie if it wasn't on TV. If you're gonna make a comic book out of a book, well, why not read the book? You've got to add something. As Jeremy pointed out, you've got to add something. And this really doesn't. It's nice for what it is, but it doesn't do anything new. And as much as we made fun of the cartoon, and we did, for its terrible filler, it actually gave more characterization to a couple of characters that kind of got it. Well, not light in the book, didn't get all that much. So this doesn't go into character development at all. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying it's lacking, ultimately. And Katie, I know we didn't have you on during the original book, so
yeah, so I have nothing useful to say about the comic, but I was noticing when I was reading through Redwall this time that there are a lot of things that never come up again. Like besides the horse, I was noticing littler things. Like at one point Basil says "Good Lord," and there's references like heaven and hell, and Hell Gates comes up again.
Mm-hmm.
But the mentions of instead of thank the Lord, they say thank the seasons, and that sort of thing is kind of developed. They have their own sort of language that they use that's specific to it. And also, it said that Methuselah talked to everybody, and no one hurt him except for or actually nobody did. Wandering foxes would come talk to him. It's oh well, he just broke his streak of a fox not hurting him because chicken hound. But I thought it was kind of cool that they said everyone would come talk to Methuselah, even wandering foxes or I don't know if he had quite decided what the villains were going to be at that point.
No, and as we covered it when we covered it in the first point, the rules of the series were still being established, so we have to forgive some idiosyncrasies like the horse.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it was just stuff I was noticing. Also, like Basil wanted like a dozen boiled eggs, and toward the end or middle of the series, eating eggs kind of becomes sort of an inhumane type thing, sort of like eating birds.
Yeah.
So I guess Basil's a monster. Because he eats eggs.
I will say, I'm looking just kind of real quick through the artwork here, and Clooney, well, he tends to stay on model. There are points where he changes just a little. Like, definitely early in the book, he looks like he's been putting on a few pounds, and that he doesn't have towards the end of it, so...
Well, man, fighting a war really stresses you out, you know? Like, I don't know.
I mean, he outright looks portly at some points, and then other times he looks, well, in shape, so...
Well, you gotta exercise that army.
Yeah.
Lead by example. Oh, wait, Clooney never leads by example.
I mean, as we've mentioned a few times, among the Redwall villains, he's... I wouldn't say egalitarian, but he definitely doesn't care what species people are, as long as you're fighting for him.
Yeah, I just don't think he does a lot of work. He just yells at people. Like when they're doing the tunnel, like he's just like, you're doing it wrong. Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't lead from
No.
Doesn't necessarily lead from the back, but he is willing to get his hands dirty, but he'd rather have other people do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas on Gatron, well, hey, there goes another messenger.
Whereas Bajrang is like, here, I'm going to kill people, and you're going to help me. Hey, look how awesome I am. You guys should fight better.
And Slagar, well, he's nuts.
But he's also Tim Curry.
And we mentioned that by this point.
Yeah.
4 times, at least on this show.
Yep.
Very exciting.
And we'll experience him firsthand next time.
Yeah, we will. We're going to do episode, was it 1 through 4? Hang on, what did we do last time?
So we did 1 through 4 last time, I believe.
Yeah, we did 4 at a time, and then for the last episode, we did 5.
Yep, that'll work. So, yeah, we'll be doing Madameos episodes 1 through 4 next time. Cool. And I don't remember if there's, filler to the Tune of Wild Ivy in that one. I don't think there is.
It's a lot more faithful to the book, and so is Martin the Warrior. Like, the last 2 are just kind of a complete turnaround from being faithful adaptations. I don't know what changed, but...
It's funny you mention that, because I was on the Redwall forums not terribly long ago, and I was reading people's opinions of the animated series to prep for next time, so... And the general consensus was Season 2 was not as well as loved, and like, really?
Huh. People love Wild Ivy.
No. Weird accent.
And now let's hear from Tim to see what he thought about this section.
Greetings, recorders. This is Tim. I regret that I could not be there today to give kind of some live impressions as far as my opinions on the second part of the Redwall graphic novel. I was dealing with some family stuff at the time, so this is kind of what is going on. I have some family staying with me right now, so I have no idea if any of them will be in this audio. I'll be sure to kind of cut here and there based off of any kind of occurrence. In any case, I just wanted to briefly touch on some various pages in the Redwall graphic novel. I'm not sure which pages have been touched on already, so I'll just be brief. So a few things I'd like to talk about. Page 86 was a fun way of displaying motion of the squirrel, Jess. I don't know why I have it in my notes as the squirrel, because it's Jess. We all know who Jess is. Leaping from one panel into the next. I really like that as an illustrated motion, as a way of displaying creative motion. I had stated before in the first part how there wasn't a whole lot of interesting use of panels in the graphic novel. I think this is a really good example of a good use of creative use. Page 88. There's the famous food at Redwall Abbey, and it's primarily wafer discs. Okay. So one thing I wanted to touch on was I can't seem to remember there being a whole lot of regret being built in the Chicken Hound in the book. This is just my own problem with my memory. It might be that we did get a perspective from him as far as his own personal regret or cowardice, but a lot of the panels do illustrate, I feel, some interesting facial animations of animations. Well, I guess that's a proper nomenclature for that as well. But facial cues for him, where he does show what seems to be regret in certain panels, as well as surprise, or even just altogether like some form of, I guess, humanity, if that could loosely be used. So multiple panels seem to illustrate a level of pain, surprise, and really just being altogether unprepared for what has just occurred. I mean, obviously this might be on purpose to show how ridiculous a character he is, with how he likes to say that he is the smartest thief, or a thief prince, and how he was smarter than Sayla. It's very interesting too. I like that as an aspect of where basically as soon as his mother dies, he just calls her Sayla and just kind of is like, you know what, that, you know, I don't care where I got raised from. I'm my own man, Fox. Yeah, so like, again, like page 89, when he shows surprise at Methuselah's words of how he said, Methuselah states that he's worse than his mother. I don't remember that being something that was touched on in the book. If anyone has already looked at the panels and also the pages, and if I'm wrong, you know, just prove me wrong. But it feels like, I don't know if it's just an artistic direction or whoever adapted this part, that they wanted to show regret for Chickenhound. I don't know why exactly. It's a weird thing to give Chickenhound some human emotions, again, loosely for that. So 97, page 97, I dig the rose with the sword thorns opening up into Methuselah. That's cool. Interesting. Page 116, I like the touches of runes upon the quarry. Kind of an old mythological take on it. Page 134 to 135 was a full page spread. A lot of chaos going on here with rats being carried away by the sparrows and shrews overpowering. It was really cool. I'm curious, actually, now that I think about it, for page 141, how the relations between the sparrows and the abbey dwellers progressed to a point of where, like, they had a Cold War kind of thing going on. I don't know. I mean, again, that's not something that's very important to the story, but it's always interesting to think about. One of the reasons is to, wait, why was there any hostility between the abbey dwellers and the sparrows to begin with? Why wasn't there any efforts to do any peace? Or if there was any efforts, what happened there? Hey, maybe there's a potential for a fanfiction section there, hey? I don't know why I'm doing it in a weird voice, sorry. So the final image on this graphic novel, I just don't, I don't like it. I don't even know what this is. I don't know what involved them to do it like this, but I would have preferred something more peaceful than the Ghost Avatar State Gozer Attack on Titan Tom Hanks Big Matthias / Martin. It's just odd. I don't really, it doesn't mesh well. It seems weird, especially with the abbot's dying words. It just doesn't mesh well with me for the imagery. Summing up, this graphic novel is okay. I would say it would be a fun novelty to borrow from your local library. If you're looking to collect the works, sure, yeah, add it to your collection. Overall, it's an interesting novelty. I mean, there are some pages that are really interesting. I do like how this was an interesting adaptation of it. I would still, though, as we have said in the past episode, probably just read the book as opposed to just reading the graphic novel. Again, okay, but not great.
Well, we certainly know it's not getting any other TV adaptation anytime soon. We've mentioned it on show, but Disney only likes one mouse to be in charge because they canceled the Fox movie project Mouse Guard, which would have been awesome.
Well, to be fair, they canceled a lot of Fox movie projects.
Yeah. But that specifically is like Redwall with a lot more, adult themes, evidently. It's a comic book and a tabletop RPG that focuses on mice defending other mice from predators and other things. So
I'm Father Rabbit now.
Oh no.
Let's hope that never comes. Yeah. All right, well, folks, again, next time we're going to be doing, Cartoon Season 2. So, X4 coming on as always.
Yep. Where can people find us online?
Oh, right. Recorder on the Wall is found at recorderonthewall.com. We are on Twitter at ROTWPOD. That is also our primary contact for email, rotwpod@gmail.com. I am at least active on the Redwall forums and the Redwall subreddit. And you can always find more information on our show, like I said, on our core website. We are on Google Play Podcasts and iTunes Podcasts, although that's just Apple Podcasts now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently Apple's breaking up iTunes into podcasts, movies, and music into
Apple
three separate
and iTunes
programs.
are breaking up. Oh, wait, that's not what you said.
Is because 3 separate programs makes way more sense than one central one.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Well, until next time, safe travels, everybody.
Oh, I'm supposed to say something. Bye.
See you later.